What's up, man?
How's everything going?
Everything good.
All right, so I know you got a. I don't really know how much of a test is it going to be this weekend. It's definitely confirmed you're fighting Jonathan Garcia.
Yep.
All right, so that's going to be 6 rounds at the playground right in our backyard in Atlantic City. Anything you do differently leading up to this fight, training camp wise?
No. I mean, weight a lot. Weight a lot easier than I have in the past. And I'm training, working with Bill Johnson now, along with Ray McCline.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm over at Atlantic City. I've been over at the Atlantic City Powerlifting Camp. It's a hotter gym.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There's no air in that gym. But
None
that's
all
right. We like it like that. That's right. And you mentioned that you're training with Mr. Johnson, who's been around the game for so many years, with his son, Levander. How about your opponent, Jonathan Garcia? Comes in with a lopsided record, has a couple losses, string of losses in a row. But here's a guy, though, if you look at it, he's stepped up in guys. He's fought Alantez Fox. He's fought Starks. He's fought Kyron Davis, a good-looking prospect out of Delaware. He's also fought Jamonte Clark. So this kid typically goes to distance, even though he's lost 4 or 5 in a row. He hasn't been knocked out. So, again, this is a 6-rounder. You think this will be a grinder?
Yeah, I think so. I would like to get the rounds in, but, gotta attack the body. He probably take a lot of good headshots. So he's just going to try to chop the body down, and just the knockout comes, it comes. But I would like to go six good rounds.
Is it different when look, a lot of fighters, they always want to get that consistency in the ring. Your last fight prior to this fight coming up was back in October, so you're looking at about 10 months. Sometimes it's just the nature of getting the fights. Getting the good fights. Payday certainly has to be there. The venue, the situation has to be right. Have you found it harder to get fights over the last year? Because, again, you got 3 in 2013. You had a couple in 2014. Was it tough to get a fight or two leading into this year?
Well, I was going through a lot of stuff, contractual with my former promoter, G.H. Street, and my former manager, Rich Massini, which I was grateful for, both of them, actually. But, sometimes we had to work things out. And, that's the path I chose. So I expected inactivity, so it didn't really affect me, man. Just stayed in the gym and just stay positive. So hopefully after this fight, man, I can pick back up.
In a couple minutes with Anthony Juice Young, good-looking welterweight from Atlantic City, 10-1, 5 knockouts, getting set to take on Jonathan Garcia at the playground in Atlantic City. Chaz Witherspoon card. Witherspoon will be the headliner. A lot of young local talent on that card as well. One of the things I realize is when you look at Atlantic City, this was the hotbed of boxing in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and I know you've had the opportunity to have several of your fights in Atlantic City, in Newark, at the Robert Treat Hotel, in Virginia, Birchwood Manor, that we talked about before. Would you like to see more fights on a consistent basis come back to Atlantic City, especially being a native of Atlantic City yourself?
Yeah, man. I feel like that's what the city needs. A lot of these casinos are shutting down. Back in when Tyson and Arturo got it, he was bringing in a lot of business for the casinos, and they ain't got no fight. And I don't know, it's like a lot of old people come to games, but you don't get no younger crowd. Like, I've been to Vegas, I've been to casinos out there and see kids from 21 on up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you hope you certainly want to appeal to the younger crowd, especially when you have local young guys right in the backyard. It's good. I agree. It's good for the casinos. It's good for the city, and people are going to travel. 2 more quickies for you, and again, appreciate a couple moments. You look at yourself right now. You're 27 years of age. You've had 11 pro fights. When you look at this year, is this a year where Anthony Young has to be active? We're talking 3, 4 fights if possible. Obviously we're in August, but if you were to look at the calendar year from now until, say, next August, in an ideal world, how many fights would you like to have under your belt?
8.
Wow.
In an ideal world, I would like to get August. I would like to fight October and November if possible.
Is it more you want the activity, or you're also looking at, hey, I'm 27, I'm at the time right now where it's got to happen. You know, at that age, 27 in the pro game, yeah, you certainly have a lot of years left, but I always think in your late 20s, that's an important age because now you can really start to separate yourself. You get bigger fights, 8, 10 rounders, championship, regional belts, and you get more money. So are you putting more pressure on yourself?
It's more so I want the experience, but I'm not really too much. You know, I'm just hitting the prime of my manhood, and I don't have a lot of wear and tear on my body. You know, a lot of these guys that's 27 right now, they probably had 175 amateur fights,
sure,
30 pro fights, and they're worn down, so the clock is ticking on them. I feel like I'm a lot fresher and my legs are younger. I haven't taken no beating. I haven't got I haven't taken that many shots to the head. So I feel like it's not a rush, but yeah, like, you know, at this point, you do want to pick it up for both sakes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, before I let you get out of here, kind of handicap the welterweight division. And, again, say in a perfect world you get your 7 or 8 fights. Where do you see yourself within the next year? And obviously in a perfect world, any guys that you might locally or along the East Coast that you might have your eye on for that you like to have a fight with?
In a perfect world, honestly, I would just like to fight for, you know, I just like to get in the top, crack the top 15, top 10.
Yeah. I mean, look, if you get, conservatively speaking, say you get 6 to 8 more fights, and say you win 6, 7 fights, and now you're looking at 16, 17, and 1. Again, I hate talking like this with fighters because you never want to jinx anything. But again, just regular bar talk. 16, 17, and 1. The rankings, they're skewed, but in a way it kind of helps younger fighters. It helps guys in their 20s if they're active, because you can really now start to make a quick run. You can be top 40, top 30, top 20, and then all of a sudden you have an opportunity, NABA, NABO. You get one of the regional belts. They all have affiliations with the big sanctioning bodies. So, again, it's not outlandish to think. It's certainly realistic. 8 fights, it comes down to winning, and it comes down to, managers and matchmakers and promoters, these guys getting you on the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, before I let you get out of here, quick scouting report, Tarver Cunningham. Who do you like in that one?
I'm gonna go with Steve Cunningham.
You gotta give me some in-depth analysis on that. You're going with the Philly product?
They cruiserweight.
A heavyweight fight.
Heavyweight?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really. I've never really watched either one of them.
All right, then you know what? I'm gonna throw you a mulligan. I'm gonna give you a softball on that. We'll go to the welterweight division. I don't want to hang my guest.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang my guest out to dry. All right. What's your thoughts on Mayweather and Berto?
Personally, I think if Floyd, I think Floyd's gonna knock him out, probably a late stoppage, 10th round. I mean, I think Berto gets hit too easy by slower guys. Floyd is the most accurate puncher in boxing. I think Floyd's just going to touch him all night, and Berto's probably just going to walk into something. I mean, but I think he's a live underdog. What is he, 40-1?
He's a very live underdog.
He's a very, if he got hand speed and he has power. And, anything can happen in boxing, but, I watched the fight against Josecito Lopez,
yep.
And I just felt like every time he got touched, his legs were unsteady. I don't know how much more
he has
left in him,
yeah.
But Floyd's going to hit him a lot. He's going to hit him clean, and if Berto if he can't take those kind of punches, I don't think he can go all 12 rounds. But he had the shot because he can punch very, very fast.
Yes. And then he engages Floyd a little bit and makes him work. I agree with that. All right, my friend. Hey, good stuff. We'll look to you Saturday night. If not, we'll certainly see you in the gym. I appreciate a couple moments, pal.
All right, thank you.
All right, you got it, Juice. Be well.